going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock, he hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it! The Ducks have won!
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
Dante will dribble it out! The Ducks are Pac-12 tournament champions!
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Oregon's a Fiesta Bowl champion in a 12-win season.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We've got a lot to cover today. I'm Joey Mack. Thanks for being with us. We've got Melyssa Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach. Oregon baseball with a big win over the Beavers last night. We'll break down all of that for you. Hear from Mark Wazakowski, Brock Moore, who struck out 8 consecutive Beavers. The Ducks actually struck out the batting order. 9 straight strikeouts between 2 pitchers for the Ducks. Pretty impressive. Bryce Betcher also homered twice. Jeffrey Hurd sent one out of here. Men's golf has an NCAA tournament selection. Men's basketball's got its conference opponents next year. Women's basketball, another new addition to Kelly Graves' team. Lacrosse has a player of the year in the Pac-12. Track and field for a second time this year has the track and field athlete of the week. We'll continue to review Duck spring football and the spring football game as well. Surplus sale coming up this weekend. We've got some of the stuff here on the desk that you'll see at the surplus sale. Football helmets, the special edition Nike Blazer shoes. We'll have those for you at the surplus sale. More details, goducks.com. For season ticket holders, tomorrow, and Duck Athletic Fund donors, tomorrow, your last chance to secure that priority access. You get in first. General admission fans get in second. Surplus sale coming up Saturday at the Mashofsky Center. Priority access secured by Thursday, May 2nd. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Goducks.com with more details for the annual surplus sale. Baseball last night. 4-run deficit in the first inning. Beat the Beavs 9-5. A 4-run first for Oregon State after 3 walks and a home run, a grand slam. All the runs that scored were walked on base. First time that Ian Umlaut hasn't had his best stuff really since he became a starter for the Ducks. But Ian Umlaut got picked up by his bullpen. He had 4 walks in the first inning, went through the batting order 1 time, and that was it. So 4 runs in the first for the Beavs. Added another with a solo shot in the second. That was all that Brock Moore gave up. Moore came in to start the second, gave up the home run to Travis Bazzana. Then he struck out, he got a ground out and struck out the next 2 Beavers in the second. So then go to the bottom half of the second inning, and Oregon gets right back in the game. Bryce Betcher with a 3-run dinger. Ducks got another run in the third by putting the ball in play, put pressure on the Beaver defense, and I should note that in the second inning, Carter Garade put a ball in play. An error on the play by the Beaver defense. That brought Bryce Betcher up. Otherwise, the inning would have ended. Betcher hits the 3-run home run, hitting in the 9-hole for the Ducks. So the Ducks got that other one, though, in the third by putting the ball in play. And suddenly, it's a tie game. After the first inning, I was not feeling great in the broadcast booth. Then it's a tie game through 3. And Brock Moore really settled it down. Struck out 8 straight to end his outing. And I know a lot of fans were like, 8 straight, leave him in there. Well, he wasn't built up to do that. You know, he's just not in that, I don't even know if shape is the right word. He's just not set up to do that and still returning from injury. But I'll tell you what, when Jackson Jordan can pick up where he left off, by the way, that was the first outing for Jackson Jordan since March. A guy who the Ducks thought at the beginning of the year might be the closer. You remove the one tough outing for Jackson Jordan, and again, he got banged up. You remove the one tough outing, he has not allowed a run this year. All right, so Jackson Jordan comes in, strikes out the 9th straight Beaver, struck out the batting order there. You just don't see that. I honestly have never seen that happen. When was the last time you saw 9 consecutive strikeouts on a scorecard? I've never seen it. In the notes that Todd Miles and his staff put together for Oregon baseball, it only goes as high as there's a section I should back up. There's a section called last time, like the last time this happened. It only goes up to 6. When was the last time Oregon struck out 6 straight hitters? Well, now you got to add 7, 8, and 9 to that note section. That last time, pretty amazing. You just don't see that. Ducks struck out the batting order for the Beavs, and it really did, in a lot of ways, change the game. Totally changed the game. Game flipped when Bryce Betcher hit the home run, and then the pitching staff does. Like, we talk about momentum all the time. The pitching staff then throws up a couple zeros. Oregon State's offense is just not feeling it. Ducks got out to a 9-5 lead ultimately because Bryce Betcher hit another home run. The best part about that one, he was trying to lay down a bunt. Got down 0-2, and then homered. Hey, Coach, I'm a team player. I'm all in on doing what needs to be done, laying down the bunt. Yeah, Coach, I think I'm just going to hit a bomb here. It was pretty funny, actually, because while that was going on, Oregon softball head coach Missy Lombardi was texting me during the game, and she was like, can't get the bunt down, hit a bomb. All right, good, cool. Good job, Bryce Betcher. And then Jeff Hurd hit a solo shot, and then another wild pitch scored. Ducks 9-5, kept the pressure on. Oregon really dominated after the Beavers had the early lead. I'll tell you what, crowd was great. Student section, tied for the 6th highest attendance in Oregon program history at PK Park, 4,130. And the students at one point were so on it, and not in a disrespectful way. And this is what I want to make a point about this today. Mark Wasikowski has talked a lot about this, that it's like, hey, need to have a great environment. You don't want to be disrespectful. But the way Waz even described it when we talked on the Toyota Coaches Corner yesterday, you don't want the wine and cheese sitting peacefully at a baseball game either. Now, we don't want anything bad to happen. We don't want fans from each fan base yelling at each other. We've all been to sporting events where you hear the back and forth and it goes too far. We all know where that line is, all right? But it sure is fun when you just get those cheers in the right moments. And, you know, when a Beaver pitcher walks a guy on 4 pitches, gets down 3-0, then hits Bryce Betcher, throws 8 straight balls, and you could just tell that the student section was, well, let's just say they had something to do with that. That's the environment. So shout out to Duck fans. Let's go. That was awesome. And it was done like, this is a true story, and I think it's good for me to share this with you. Post-game, I asked one of the members of the Oregon event staff, the facility staff, and she said, no, I had no complaints in the stands, like really nothing with the fans. Like it was just a good, rowdy environment. As someone who, and this is true, as someone who has gone to a lot of sporting events in his life, now that I'm thinking about this, have I been to more sporting events as like a worker rather than a fan now? That might be true. 10 years. Yeah, I think that I have probably been to more sporting events that I've worked rather than as a fan. Anyway, the point is I've been to a lot of them, and we've all been in those situations where you kind of look around and you're like, this doesn't feel right. Like it takes away the enjoyment for everybody. That wasn't that last night. Last night it was just a fun environment for a baseball game, and the Ducks won. So what does that mean, though? The Ducks are now 2-2 against the Beavs on the season. Both are bona fide top 25 teams. I think these are the 2 best teams on the West Coast. And down the stretch, things could get really interesting because Utah leads the conference. They're tied with Arizona right now. Ducks are 2 games back. Ducks have the Utes at PK Park Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a big series coming up. Great to get the win over Oregon State. And really, in the last 17 of the 18 innings that these two teams played, so Sunday and Tuesday, Sunday in Corvallis, Tuesday in Eugene, I would say Oregon dominated 17 of the 18 innings. That's after 2 games that were just awesome baseball games on Friday and Saturday that didn't go the Ducks' way. These are the 2 best teams on the West Coast. Oregon's in position now to not only compete for the conference championship, and they need the Beavers maybe to lose a game or 2 down the stretch, and the Ducks need to take care of business against Utah, take care of business at Washington, take care of business against Washington State. But there's a path where Oregon can win the conference title in the regular season, and I think there's a path that Oregon is going to host a regional. Right now, if the tournament started today, I think the Ducks are a 2 seed. I think they're a 2 seed traveling just like they did last year. Ended up with a super regional at PK Park. You never know what's going to happen. But there's a path, and Ducks are, I think, feeling pretty good right now. Getting healthier in the bullpen. Brock Moore, Jackson Jordan, Bradley Mullen also pitched along with Logan Mercado last night. All in all, the Ducks got 1 inning out of their starter. And you feel pretty darn good about the pitching staff. That's a shout-out to Brock Moore and Jackson Jordan getting healthier. All right, quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk with Mark Wasikowski. We're going to talk with Brock Moore, Bryce Betcher, Jeffrey Hurd. Men's golf is headed to the NCAA tournament. We know where. Stick with us on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Going to hear from Mark Wasikowski in just a moment. Some other news and notes, and we'll get into more detail a bit later on the show. Men's golf headed to the postseason, 17th consecutive season for the Ducks. They're headed to the Baton Rouge Regional. Also, men's basketball has its Big Ten Conference tournament schedule starting to take shape. Big Ten Conference tournament. Big Ten Conference regular season schedule starting to take place. See, I'm already thinking tournaments for softball and baseball, everything else. Women's basketball, a new addition from the transfer portal. Lacrosse has the midfielder of the year in Morgan McCarthy. Track and field, another weekly honor. A lot more to come. It's awards season for some sports, and postseason is officially here. Mark Wasikowski, felt like a postseason environment at PK Park, didn't it, Coach?
You said the other day your guys are never going to roll over. You feel like you proved that yet again when you go down early like that and fight back the way you did?
You got to prove it every day. It's not just a one-time deal, and these guys battle. Some teams might have just rolled over and said, we're getting beat and this is embarrassing at home. It's not the start we want, and that wasn't our team. Our team decided to take a different approach, and that was nice to see him battle back.
A lot of guys did a lot of things. Betcher, obviously, a couple homers, some nice plays defensively. Just what you said about his impact in all facets.
Huge. I mean, really, he had some really big swings at the plate, right? But then, the throw that came out of his hand, he's been working. He's always been known as a really elite go catch the ball defender and run it down, and he's really been working on his throws from the outfield, and he's got a very, very good arm, strong arm. You saw it tonight. He threw it low through the cutoff man and was able to keep Bazana at first base on the single up the middle. And with the runner from first trying to run to third, that height of a throw was just an absolutely critical out for us to get that lead out at third base and really turn that into a zero. He did that as well. So, in addition to the RBIs and the good swings he had, that one probably was, you could argue that was the biggest one that he had right there, that play.
And more kind of stabilizing things on the mound in a pretty spectacular fashion with the strikeouts. Just what can you say about the way he threw the ball?
10 hitters, 8 strikeouts, 8 in a row. Yeah, that's what it looks like, and when he's touching 98 miles an hour and throwing his off-speed pitches for strikes. Big Country had a great night tonight. It was good to see.
How much does his performance lift the team, especially after facing a 5-0 deficit there?
Well, it's massive. We didn't really want to go to our bullpen in the second inning, and to have Brock do what he did, and then Jackson Jordan, that's his first outing that he's had in quite a while. And for him to do what he did and add some length to that after a clumsy start, and then Brad did what he did and passed the ball to Logan. I mean, that's 4 really good relief guys in a row that did a tremendous job of keeping them down.
How'd you like specifically how Brock? I think he gave up the homer on very first at bat he faced, and then settled in with the 8 strikeouts. How'd you like how he responded from that?
Well, again, he could have just folded, and he didn't. And, I think he got, 10 hitters is what he saw, and the first guy didn't get, and then the next 9 he did. So credit to him. Real tough outing.
Obviously, the most important thing is scoring the runs, but how crucial was the timing of Betcher's 2 home runs tonight?
Critical. It don't matter when you score them, but it just felt like to continue with the momentum and then to get back in front and get the lead with Batch. For a Eugene guy to be playing 2 sports at the University of Oregon, for Coach Lanning's team that finished in top 5 or 10 or whatever they finished in the country and bowl win, and he's starting inside linebacker for them and starting center fielder for us doing what he's doing. It's, that's a golden story for the media. I don't know. The people of Eugene, for them to miss on this opportunity to see a kid from South Eugene High School, Axman, who comes out here and he's doing this stuff for the Ducks. This is something that there aren't that many opportunities left to see this kid play, and the best way that the community can come together is to come and see this kid play. It's that special, and he's probably earned that respect here in the community.
How about the people of Eugene, the community of Eugene tonight, showing up with a pretty packed house for a Tuesday night?
We want it like that every night, and so it was good tonight, and we're excited that the interest in our program is growing, and that's our job, to put a product on the field to where there's more interest by the day, where we have to add on to the stadium, and we're not there maybe yet, but that's one of our goals, and we're going to keep working to earn the community's trust.
On Jeffrey's home run, did you think he got all of that, or do you think just kind of kept drifting? We weren't sure.
Jeffrey had a tremendous night tonight. He's getting healthy again, and he was our best hitter, for a good chunk of the season. Then he got dinged up a little bit, and it set him back, and you just saw his at-bat starting to get better and better. He got all that. He's a guy who has tremendous strength in his hands. We saw him, I think, hit a game-winning home run at Arizona State off of a left-hander throwing 96 miles an hour. This kid's the real deal. He can really play baseball, and we're lucky to have him.
For Jordan, he hasn't pitched since March 3rd. Just how do you feel like he did out there, and what was it like to put him in that scenario where the game was still close?
Excellent, and he didn't blink at it. We were thrilled with how he did, and we were excited about how he did. I have no complaints about Jackson Jordan. We're thrilled to have him back. Going into the season, we thought he was going to be our closer. That's how good he was.
It's the first time since 2021 where you guys have taken 2 games in the season against Oregon State. Just what does that mean for you guys moving forward, that they've been the powerhouse of the state the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, probably I'm not going to touch it. You know, for me, it's real simple. I know in 21, I think we were 5-1 against them, and this year now we're 2-2 against them. I mean, maybe we get a chance to play them a little bit more. That'd be good too. You know, I like playing against good people, and they're a good program. Obviously, they're a program with a lot of success, and we're building our program. And so I admire the fact that they've done what they've done at their program. I've seen them grow it from a place where before any national championships were won. And I was an assistant coach at the University of Arizona watching that, and then to see what they've done, it's admirable. And still yet our goal is to be able to get to Omaha and win national championships, and we're a building program and we're excited to compete.
You know, early in the year, the lineup's moving a lot. Guys are coming in and out. And you talked about, well, we're trying to figure out what the lineup's going to be this year. Cut down the road, there's still guys moving in and out, up and down, but everyone's producing. How much of a strength is that, having a different lineup, you know, every week?
Well, and there's good guys on the bench that didn't even swing tonight. You know, I mean, I'm sure Dominic Hellman was itching to get an at-bat tonight, you know, amongst others. And so Bennett Thompson, I'm sure, was itching to get an at-bat tonight. But it just says that we got a lot of depth on our team, and we're a really good baseball team. You know, for the people of the state of Oregon to have probably the two best teams on the entire West Coast here in the state of Oregon, I mean, that's how good it is right now in this on this part of the United States for the two Oregon schools. So enjoy it, people. You know, get out and watch the Ducks play. We got a huge weekend series versus the Utes this weekend. It's a critical weekend series, and we need the place packed and rocking and making a difference for the Ducks to win.
6 to noon, your times for the Ducks and the Utes coming up at PK Park this weekend. Utes are in first place in the conference, tied with Arizona. Ducks within striking distance. They can catch Utah this weekend with a series win. Big time. Big time here at PK Park. Brock Moore was also big time. They call him Big Country. He struck out 8 straight hitters. Wow. Brock Moore talked after the game last night.
I feel like your outing was kind of a microcosm for the game as a whole for your team. Get punched in the mouth and then just flip the script and kind of dominate the rest of the way. Can you kind of speak to the mentality maybe for yourself individually or your team as a group to kind of take a shot and then just start delivering shots?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to give our team a chance. I know we got a lot of fight in our team. And I mean, after the lead-off bomb at Travis, I just couldn't. He's a good player. You can put a good swing on, and then I was going to move on from that one. I was able to settle in pretty well and give my team a chance. Bryce came up huge. He was electric all day, and it was really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, I'd say you settled in pretty well. I mean, have you had a run like that where you struck out that many guys in a row before?
At Menlo last year I did, but definitely wasn't the competition I just faced.
How long was that streak?
I think it was 8-2.
He's old hat for you.
Yep.
When that's happening, do you realize it? Like, are you keeping like a count in your head? Like, or do you even have a sense? Like, I think I've struck out a few guys in a row.
Not really. I try not to get to me because if I just start thinking about strikeouts, I'll probably start throwing balls because I just need to start throwing over the plate. And then I was able to do that with all my pitches today, so it worked out for me.
As a pitching staff, how do you lift up Ian after a night like tonight, both on the field and in the dugout?
I think he's just got to see that we all have his back, especially with the offense coming through right away. You can't let one outing dictate how you play. I mean, he just had 2 amazing. He just did a CG in 7 innings before this, so one outing doesn't dictate how you are. So he's gonna come back when he gets on the mound again.
What was working out there for you?
My slider, definitely. I was able to land that and wasn't any count. Last time I wasn't able to land any changeups, so second bat to Travis, I was able to land a couple changeups there, and I could get him out that time. But yeah, I was just able to locate all 3 pitches, which is very beneficial if you're a pitcher.
What's your relationship like with Chase back there?
Oh, I love his presence back there. Is really, really strong. He's always really prominent back there. He just gives you a good target, and it's really good to throw to.
When we last talked a while ago, you said you kind of wanted to add some velo to that slider. Yeah. Something like 78, 80. Yeah. Did the injury kind of just be like, put that to the side and then you have it, basically the same amount?
I think I was just getting more on top of it today. So it was getting more downward action than sweeping action. So, I mean, I worked today, so maybe I'll keep doing that and we'll just see how it goes. It's still developing, but I liked it today. So
that front hip slider, the back door, whatever the hand of the batter was, that's something that you try to do every time you're out there?
No, not really. I mean, I'll do a backdoor, Hawk will call slider away or something like that, so I'll just try to land it away. And then if it calls for a strike, I'll try to aim it down the middle and just let it play.
This is something I've asked a couple guys on the staff now. Coach Waz talks a lot about pitching old. Is that something you're thinking about when you're on the mound, or is that just kind of an overall season theme?
I mean, it's definitely a theme on our team to play old, not act young. I think you just can't let your emotions show on the mound. Like after anything, you gotta stay strong, because if the hitters see that you're kind of walled up, they're gonna get on top of that. So I think you just gotta act like you've been there before and just keep doing it.
You think there's guys got riled up a little bit today with the ball 4, ball 5 chance going?
I mean, Yeah, I got that at Oregon State when I walked Travis before, so it was good to give it back to him.
What was your injury from Seattle?
It was just a peroneal strain. Okay. It's basically just like tight forearm.
Because at the time it didn't look great.
Yeah, so I felt numbness down my arm, so I thought it was my UCL, but it came back and MRI said my UCL was extremely healthy, so it's good to hear.
So how you feeling now?
Really good.
Yeah. With that change that you threw to Pizzana, like, is that something that you've been trying to work on and improve more, just to have that third out pitch?
Yeah, I think it's definitely my best pitch to lefties right now. I developed it last year, and it's kind of been my go-to when it gets lefties.
Have you tried to tell Waz that you're from the city? You know, you're not like big country.
I don't think he cares.
After coming back from and battling an injury, how do you push that aside when you're on the mound and try to not think about re-aggravating, having something else happen while you're pitching?
I mean, I think when you have an injury, you just got to go back to moments and when you did successful. Obviously, you weren't injured then, so you just got to visualize yourself in those moments again. If you start thinking about other things rather than just pitching, you're not going to do well. So you just got to kind of clear your mind and do whatever happens. You can't control if you get injured, but you can control how you act.
What was it like to see Jackson Jordan out there, who also had an injury earlier in the year and comes back? First time since March 3rd, I think it was. Just what it was like to see him back out there?
No, that's great. I love Jordy. He's a good kid. He's going to be huge for us in a couple of weeks when we can keep him in the playoffs, so it's really good to pick him back up.
I think you finished with 48 pitches, and you feel like, I know you were trying to work and maybe even become a starter the last time we talked. Do you feel like that's still a good amount of pitches that you can go out there and throw?
Yeah, I definitely can keep going. To keep working me up. I'll see where I do. Whatever they want me to do, I'll do, and we'll just go from there.
I think that was great to hear. I mean, it does take time to build up toward that, right? And that's exactly what Brock Moore's talking about. Big country from the city, by the way. I was glad that somebody asked him that. Like, have you talked to Waz about the fact that you're actually from the city? He didn't care. The nickname just comes about, right? Todd Miles, here in the athletic department, he's the SID for Oregon baseball. He always says you can't pick your own nickname. It's true. Big country. Men's golf, an NCAA tournament-bound men's golf team, 17th consecutive season. Ducks selected to the number 4 seed in that Baton Rouge Regional. Tournament will be played at the University Club, hosted by LSU from May 13th to 15th. Ducks played in this same regional in 2017. Ducks placed 3rd as Wyndham Clark and Norman Zhang each placed top 10 in the individual rankings. Casey Martin's got a little bit of experience there. He says it's a tough test with some different grasses. Our guys will be ready for it. Baton Rouge Regional, one of 6 54-hole tournaments, with the top 5 from each site advancing to the 24 NCAA championships that'll run May 24th to 29th in Carlsbad, California. Ducks are the 4th seed in the Baton Rouge region, a field that features 5 top 25 teams, including the Ducks and the top overall seed in Auburn. This is Oregon's 30th trip to the NCAA regional in program history. Best of luck to Casey Martin's team. Men's basketball also, the Big Ten Conference released the opponents for the 24-25 conference season. Each Big Ten institution will play a 20-game conference schedule, playing 3 schools both home and away, while facing 14 teams once. Of the single-play opponents, member institutions will play 7 at home and 7 on the road. The Ducks will play UCLA, USC, and Washington both home and away next season. Oregon's home-only opponents are Illinois, Indiana, Maryland, Nebraska, Northwestern, Purdue, and Rutgers. Oregon's road-only opponents include Iowa, Michigan, Michigan State, Minnesota, Ohio State, Penn State, and Wisconsin. Big Ten, we've got our home-only and our away-only UCLA, USC, Washington, playing both them home and road next year. Women's basketball, the roster also continues to take shape. Ducks have signed 6'4" forward and Texas transfer Amina Muhammad. Women's basketball head coach Kelly Graves announced it this morning. Muhammad spent the last 2 seasons with the Longhorns, was a Big 12 all-freshman team selection in 22-23, appeared in all of Texas' 74 games in her career, 20 starts. Texas reached the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament as the 1 seed, and in 2 seasons, she averaged 5 points, 4.5 rebounds a game, shot 51% from the field. Welcome to the Ducks, Amina Muhammad. Women's lacrosse, congratulations to Morgan McCarthy, the 2024 Pac-12 Midfielder of the Year. Pac-12 Conference announced it yesterday afternoon. Midfielder of the Year, Morgan McCarthy becomes the 2nd Duck to earn a major Pac-12 postseason honor. She joins Rachel Hall, who won the Freshman of the Year award in 2019. The midfielder was also named the All-Conference second team for the third straight season, making her the first player in program history to make 3 All-Pac-12 teams in her career. Sensational season for the Ducks from Morgan McCarthy. Career-high 42 goals, third in the league with a goals-per-game average of 3.0. Do-it-all midfielder, just one of 8 players nationally and the only player in the Pac-12 with 40-plus goals, 30-plus draw controls, and 15-plus caused turnovers in 2024. Leads the Ducks in points, goals, shots on goal, and ground balls. Second on the team with 17 caused turnovers. Eclipsed several career milestones this season. 11th Duck in program history to reach 100 career goals. Midfielder also joins the Pac-12's top 10 all-time leading goal scorers. Congratulations to Morgan McCarthy, the midfielder of the year. And for a second time this season, Jada Ross for the Duck track and field team has been named the Pac-12 Field Athlete of the Week, announced by the conference yesterday. Ross and the women of Oregon up to number 3, a season high in the rating index. All right, when we come back, let's talk with Melyssa Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach. She's here. We've got more coming as the Ducks get set to travel to Stanford and then postseason next week. Softball talk with the head coach right after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Duck Insider, Duck Insider, Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Coach Financial Studio. Here, Missy Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach. Hi, Coach. How are things? Okay, so we've talked before about how we have an awful lot of stuff on the desk. There were some new additions because it's surplus sale week, big week around the Oregon Athletic Department. Okay,
that makes sense.
Well, one thing, though, that when you bring in the head of the equipment operation, who happens to also be the sport administrator for the Duck softball team, new addition. Jane Sanders Stadium ball, just in case you need something to hang out with over the course of the interview today. So
I'm gonna put it right here.
Are you a fidgeter during a game? Like, do you always have something in your hands when you're coaching?
I'm not a fidgeter, but I'm a mint eater.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So you go through a lot of the mints?
It's the Lifesaver orange mint. I could put a bag down in one game.
But it's like a nervous thing, right?
It's just, you know what? Honestly, it's not even a nervous thing. It's when I was younger, I caught myself one time on a TV game chewing gum, and I have never, ever chewed gum since.
Really?
On TV. Oh, it's horrible. It's not good.
Wow, okay.
Like, you're just like.
I was a gum chewer, but what was difficult is I was a catcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to chew gum when you've got the mask on and everything else. So, okay, interesting.
It's not fidgeting. I think it's just something to
You need something to do.
I just kind of eat mints.
Yeah, it's okay, see?
So.
You learn something new every day. When I do broadcasts, I constantly am changing what's in my hands, from the ball to a binder clip to a pencil that I'm twirling. Like I'm the same. So I was curious because as a broadcaster, it's not very nice when it's like chewing gum or a
so
mint.
you gotta
not
move
great.
hands.
I gotta do something else.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's just. I think it's just I just chew on them.
Yeah,
that's it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What does the rest of the coaching staff do? Do they all follow the head coach example and they're a mint crew also?
No, not even close.
Really? So the bag is just for coach.
The bag is literally for me, and then if some of my friends would like some mints, I pass them out.
I love that. Coach Lombardi joining us. So a bit of an odd week playing just the one on Sunday. We talked last week about extra practice. How was that? Was that nice to have with your team? A little extra time off too?
Yes, I think both. I think them giving a second just to exhale a little bit, and then to really get in some practices. Before that, our practices have been you go play, you come home, clean things up, get ready for the opponent, go play, and then do it all over again. So we were able to actually have some practices, like say prior to the season,
right?
And work on some things and put some time into some things that we needed to do. So I thought it was really good.
How early does a practice plan for one given day start, and how often does it change over the course of like a 24-hour period from one practice to another?
I think it just kind of depends. I think when we get into this time, for the most part, it gets a little more scripted because we just understand what we need to do in the practices in between playing. I think in like the fall and maybe leading up to the season, we mix them up more.
Yeah.
Which I think you have to.
Yeah.
Like a diamond sport.
Got to keep it fresh.
You got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it moving. Or there's a lot of time, and I don't like that. I like our practices to move fast, to be competitive, to be as game-like as possible. So I think we were able to do a little more of that stuff.
I was curious about that because it is kind of odd with the Pac-12 bye week. I know it's difficult, as we've talked before, to get like a full 3-game series during that bye week, which is the way that scheduling is around softball. So it kind of was refreshing, it sounds like. It sort of feels to me like just okay, now down the home stretch on a long road trip. I don't know. It sounds like maybe it was just that.
Yeah, it was. It was good. It was good. And then to play on Sunday, one game and walk away, and then now get ready for our last series against Stanford. These guys are refreshed. They're locked in. They're ready to go.
On the field, what'd you see on Sunday?
I saw us do some good things. I thought we started out slow.
Yeah.
And then I thought once we got there, we got there. I just wanted to see us get there quicker.
Isn't that amazing, though, that like we're sitting here talking about a win by – a considerable margin. Well, you started slow, and there's things to get better at. Like, I feel like that's just an example of where you think your team's at right now.
Definitely, and I think it's important for us with what we have left. It's about starting quick. If you look at us and we are the home team and we get our shutdown inning, and then we come in and we have 5+ batters to the plate, we usually go back out on the field and we're up 1 or 2 runs.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a formula to all of this and to our team. And to me, it's about us being able to do things early in the game and then stay with what we're doing. And then can we do things late in the game as well?
So coming up, a longer road trip. We often joke about having the suitcase at the beginning of the year for your team. Then you put it away for a while. Well, this is one where maybe there's some extra suitcases on the road trip, maybe?
Yes, some extra suitcases, maybe a couple extra machines to take with us. We're going to be gone for, this week and the next.
Right.
And so, we need to pack just a little more. But it's all right. It's like postseason.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, it is postseason, right? Because it's the tournament. But starting with – so I guess I should back up. If you're not familiar with the way the schedule's working, at Stanford this week, the Pac-12 tournament is hosted at Stanford the following week. So – Pooh said that Monday was laundry day, that's already on the itinerary on the schedule, but that's just sort of how you plan for it, isn't it?
For sure. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to go play Stanford and then come home and then go right back. Where we
home for 36 hours, right?
Yeah, we can go play them and then stay there, get into our academics, that we need to, being away from campus, get in some practices, and then get ready to go again.
On that note, I say this probably not enough, that there's such a focus, like, especially for me, being on the road, like, I see how much study hall is on the itinerary, right? How much homework the teams are working on. Like, I guess just a chance to shout that out a little bit, Coach, especially for a trip like this. That's a big deal for you. I know it is.
Yeah, these guys work really hard on and off the field. Like, they are so dedicated to what they do in the classroom. Like, this group does really well academically, which allows them to thrive on the field because they take care of their business in the classroom. Yeah. I never have to twist their arms for study hall. They need study hall. They want study hall. They're very disciplined as student athletes, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so at number 7, Stanford to close out the regular season. The way that the schedule will work, it's a 7 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock series coming up. You can find all of it on KWVA. Pac-12 Network will have the broadcast as well. Stanford, number 7. So just to give you a little bit of context here, everybody, and this is just the way that the Pac-12 is right now, and then I'll say all this, and if you just want to, take it as you want, please do, Coach.
Okay.
So currently 4th in the Pac-12 standings, could climb as high as the number 2 seed for next week's Pac-12 tournament. There's like 1.5 games separating like 1 through 5 in the Pac-12 standings. If I told you that at the beginning of the season, you probably wouldn't have been surprised. Like, it's a conference that beats up on itself yet again, right?
Oh, for sure. You're exactly right. That's the best way to describe it, and that's why it's such a tough conference. And I think that's why we're all struggling with our conference going away because of just how tough it is. It's extremely tough. We say it every time we talk. Yeah. It's about having a super regional every single weekend. And so here we are into our final super regional of the season.
Yep.
But we'll be prepared for regional Pac-12 tournament, regionals, super regionals, all of that because of what we're doing in our conference.
Well, and I think it's amazing, too, to think about, like, the tournament next week. It's everyone is good. Like, there's no way that you could say going into it, and we'll talk more about this next week, like, the conference is just really good. That's what I'm getting at. And then maybe, Coach, the best way that I could probably describe this is, there's a lot of really good teams on the West Coast. A lot of really good teams in the Pac-12. Feels like maybe there should be a lot of host sites on this side of the map. I don't know. Do you have a thought?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Great talk. Coach Lombardi joining us. Okay, Stanford coming up. A couple things that I wanted to back up on a little bit, too. Alyssa Daniel, career best 5 RBI. That had to be cool to see at the Jane on Sunday, and a chance maybe to build on that moving forward.
Yeah, she's been great all year. She just really is getting after it. I think she's been hot all year, but continuing to stay hot.
I think Ariel Carlson deserves another shout-out here, too. So let's make the case, again, for Pac-12 Player of the Year. The only player ranked in the Pac-12's top 5 in doubles, home runs, RBI slugging percentage, and stolen bases. One of only 3 D1 players with 14-plus home runs and 14-plus stolen bases. She's hitting better in Pac-12 games than overall by about 20 batting average points. 9 of her 14 home runs have been in Pac-12 games. Not only is she slugging .851 in Pac-12 games, her slugging percentage is 100 points higher in Pac-12 games. In other words, she's getting the best stats against the best competition. I would just like to fold up that piece of paper and say, Ariel Carlson, she's had a heck of a year, hasn't she?
She has. It's been awesome to watch her, too, in her final year. See, that's what's so cool about seniors, You get to see them in their final year and how they want to go out, and there's a way that she wants to go out, and she's doing it. Yeah. I think the two statistics, though, the batting average and the slugging percentage and having her points being higher in the Pac versus in non-conference tells you something. We face the best. I mean, the pitching that we face in the Pac, it's tough.
Well, and to that point, too, I was kind of curious thinking about that statistic and how it's gotten better. Like, she's gotten better as the season's gone on. Like, what have you seen as the season's gone forward? What has she, I guess, gotten better at? What has she kind of fine-tuned in her game?
I just think when they get older, they just know. They just know what they need. We're not sitting there coaching her up. We'll help her on some things, but not very much. She just knows what she needs. It's more about us just getting out of her way and allowing her to do what she needs to do.
Kai Lushar still leads the conference in stolen bases. She's up to 25, second in batting average at 440. You talked about the quick start, and we talked about this a little bit last week. But just how valuable it is to have sort of this punch at the top of your lineup that you do. How valuable is that for a coach?
It's really valuable because we have opportunity to score, constantly have opportunity to score just with Kai and her on-base percentage and how often she's on. She gives us an opportunity to score early in the game, middle in the game, late in the game.
Ducks are 23-0 when leading after 4 innings. it's a key statistic. You
Yeah.
alluded to it earlier that you like to start fast.
Yeah, we do, and it's just we talk a lot about that winning formula, and each year each team has their winning formula, and that's a part of ours. So it's about starting fast, setting the tone, and then finishing strong.
And how about your pitching too? I mean, we talk about the offense starting fast, pitching with a lead. It changes how you pitch, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, no, it does. It allows them just to settle in, not feel like they have to be perfect. We've got a great defense that plays behind them. So I think we're at a point in the season where everybody understands what their role is and what it is that they need to do to contribute and help us, get the wins that we're trying to get. And when you have everybody on fire and all bought in, it's awesome to watch this group.
At Stanford on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 7 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, KWVA Pac-12 Network for the coverage. Coach, safe travels. That big suitcase. Have you started to pack yet? It's Wednesday.
I know. No, I'll do it today.
Okay. Coach Lombardi joining us. Thank you, Coach. Best of luck down there. We'll catch up with you hopefully virtually next week. We'll get a quick timeout. When we come back, baseball, football, also men's golf. We know where they're headed for NCAA regionals. More coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Heard from one Diamond Sport, now back to another. Oregon baseball with the win over a really good Oregon State team last night. I think the 2 best teams on the West Coast, 2 teams that are in the race for the Pac-12 championship. Down the stretch, 3 series left. Oh, there's going to be some good baseball. And Bryce Betcher's a big reason the Ducks won last night. Playing spring football, getting it done on the baseball diamond. Had a great throw to third base to retire a lead runner at third base, trying to go from first to third. He did it all. Those 2 home runs were big. Bryce Betcher with the media last night.
Coach was talking about your impact, and he was saying the throw to third might have been a play maybe you were most proud of, he was most proud of, just because it's something you've been really working on. Can you talk about, what you've been trying to do to see progress in that element in your game, and then what it was like to see it kind of pay off like that?
Yeah, there's just been numerous points last year and even this year where I try to throw the guy out, and the throw comes out high, and then that runner will advance to second on a high throw, and something that Coach Waz and Coach Hank have try to enforce into me to get the ball down. So I've been working on it in practice and infield, outfield. So it was cool to see that come to fruition and throw the guy out and keep the guy at first.
Were you surprised to see him go to third?
A little bit. I mean, I feel like I have some pretty solid throws in the outfield there and infield, outfield, but maybe you saw I got a bad jump on the ball, but the rest is history.
Well, I was just talking too about how, fans who appreciate your story should come out and watch you, because there might not be many more chances to watch you. Like, are you wrapping your head around, are you starting to get nostalgic at all about playing here, playing in games like this, because you're counting how many you have left, perhaps?
Yeah, let me tell you, today was definitely a special moment, and to go out with a win against the Beavers means a lot to my family and I. So yeah, it's obviously you got to stay about business and one game at a time, but I'm definitely taking a couple extra steps around the field and looking around and taking it all in.
Your first home run was on the first pitch. Just what you go up there looking for, and how much do you think that provided momentum for the rest of the team and for the win?
Yeah, I was just trying to see a ball over the white and let it rip. Had some confidence going in and knew I was going to get the job done, and Martyr had a good plan for me, and BT was feeding me positive information the whole day, so I was ready to go, and I think it helped the team a lot to build some momentum after that first inning.
Obviously the most important thing is that you scored the runs, but how important was the timing of when your 2 home runs came tonight?
I think it was obviously at a pretty important part of the game that couldn't have happened without the guys getting on base in front of me, and getting the ball rolling, and so I'm thankful for my teammates for doing that and putting me in that spot. So.
How important was it for Brock Moore to come in there and just kind of cool everything down after their 4-run first?
Yeah, that dude's a stud, man. I'm out there in center, and I got the pitch comm on, and whether it's a fastball or a slider, I'm just like, whoa, this dude's nasty. The balls start behind the batter and come on in, and 96 to 100 is pretty gross at this level. So, I'm proud of the dude. He's a great dude.
That second home run, you failed to lay down 2 bunts beforehand.
Yeah.
What was the message back in the dugout? Was it like, we'll let it go this time?
Yeah, obviously it was pretty exciting going in the dugout after a homer, but then afterwards Waz was flicking me some crap, and then Martyr came in for a hitters meeting and was yelling at me. Obviously it's all fun and games because I hit the homer, but we have a standard that he calls a bunt to get it down to advance that runner, so obviously I wasn't too happy about it, but I definitely took it out on the baseball after that, so it worked out.
Obviously a lot of talk about you being a multi-sport athlete, but Bassa took to Twitter tonight talking about your performance. What's that encouragement, the support like from the football team while you're mid-season here?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I love Jeff. He's a good teammate, better guy. So it means a lot, especially when I couldn't get out there this spring as much as I wanted to. Obviously, because we got a solid baseball season and we're performing well. So I was trying to, invest all my time into the guys over here because I owe it to them. So, it's awesome to have that support and from the guys over there, just knowing that, they still think about me and when I get back over there. Because I'm itching, let me tell you, I love baseball, but I'm itching to get back on that football field. So it feels great.
I can tell you from personal experience, I know that Bryce Betcher is itching to get back out there. He hits people, man. Talked to him before the pregame show, I think week 4 for football season, and just talking with Bryce, I was like, this guy just, man, he just loves it. But the tremendous season continues for him, making tremendous plays in the outfield, taking away a lot of hits, taking away base runners, throwing them out at third, hitting 2 home runs, and then still, like, kind of jokingly, after you don't lay a bunt down, you take it out on the baseball. That's a fun guy to watch play right now. I hope everyone will get to see him at PK Park this weekend. Jeffrey Hurd also met with the media. We won't have time for it today. Don't worry, we've got it for you coming up, and we'll continue to review spring football when we come back. A lot going on around Oregon athletics. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Spring football continues for the Ducks. At least our breakdown of spring football continues, as Oregon just wrapped up their practice following the spring game earlier this week. We've yet to hear from Dante Moore and Tysheem Johnson on the show. We'll do that for you likely tomorrow and throughout the next week. And I'm hoping to get Jerry and Georgie actually here to review what they thought of the spring football game as well. Some other news and notes, though, around Duck Athletics today. Shout out to Oregon baseball. We've been talking a lot about that because they're at home this week. Oregon softball, heard from Coach Lombardi. They're on the road at Stanford. Things get interesting today. It's lacrosse game day. I was texting with Jess Drummond this morning, and the Ducks looking forward to that 4:30 start. Oregon, Arizona State today. Pac-12 Network has the coverage. Oregon can advance in the Pac-12 tournament against an Arizona State team. Ducks are the 5 seed, ASU's the 4 seed. Ducks beat them by 8 goals a couple weeks ago. I got a good feeling. The Pac-12 midfielder of the year, Morgan McCarthy, leading the way for the Ducks here today. They're in action against Arizona State. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, that's coming up at 4:30. I'll be tuned in. Looking forward to it for the Ducks. Men's golf headed to the NCAA Regionals. They are in for the 17th consecutive season, number 4 seed in Baton Rouge. Men's basketball's got its its conference season set in terms of who they play on the road, who they play at home. Also, women's basketball, another new addition to the roster, and I'll just say, stay tuned for maybe a few more, huh? Yeah. Talk to you on the show tomorrow.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league.